Yeah, Yieldmos. If anyone didn't watch the last episode, give us a little TLDR on what Yieldmos is and what it does on Juno and the greater interchain.
Yeah, so Yieldmos is a project that my co-founder and I have been working on for close to 2 years now. And I think the greater vision for what Yieldmos is, and I think you'll see today how we're making a huge step in that direction, is we are the automation engine of the interchain. So previously, what we've put out has been a lot of staking auto compounding services, LP compounding services, right? We were the first auto compounder for Osmosis LPs. And the stuff that we're unveiling today, specifically for Juno, is going to make it, like I said, even more clear that we're filling that role of automation engine in the ecosystem.
I would ask you to share your screen and just go through some of the steps that are involved. For example, a staker, what their opportunities are.
Okay, sounds good. For the uninitiated, this is Yieldmos. And so if you hop in here, there's a list of strategies. So you could see, like I was mentioning before, tons of staking auto compounding. So you could come and we're on a bazillion chains. So you could, if you felt like auto compounding your Quasar staking rewards, you could do that, right? But the new shiny bits that we're unveiling now are these Juno Outpost strategies. But if you look at these four guys here, you can see we have automation for Juno DCA, right, or dollar cost averaging, I guess JCA, Juno staking rewards, and then your rewards from the white whale satellite market if you utilize that, and wind staking rewards as well if you're like me and you have tokens locked up for like 700 more days in WindDAO. Any of this can be automated with features from Yieldmos. So yeah, you could see here we have already set up the strategies because I've been testing them for, months and months. But if we just hop into one of them, uh, you could see pretty quickly what things look like. So here's kind of like the most meaty new page here, which is going through and selecting what to do with whatever rewards we are automating for you. What do you want to do with them?
Yeah.
Right. So I already have a strategy that I've selected, and pretty plainly you can see I'm converting a quarter of my rewards to USDC. Another quarter is getting converted to Atom. Some is getting staked to Cleomedes validator. And then another quarter is getting donated via Spark IBC to the incredible Terra Spaces. But yeah, if you look, here's like an exhaustive list of what we're offering at the moment. And we've tried very hard to make it relatively discoverable. If you're not familiar with all of these, there's good explanations of what each bit is and why you might be interested in it. And if you select one, you'll see another explanation of like more mechanically what this thing is going to do if you select it. This explains like we're going to convert your rewards into USDC because that's what's used on Spark IBC, and we'll donate it to the campaign. You could pick how you want that to be configured, and you'll get your Spark points just like you normally would with Spark IBC. This is Gelato's interchain lottery. And so we explain a little bit how their lottery works, and you could allocate however much you would like. You could edit some of these. One that I might do here, just to show a proof of concept here, is maybe instead of just swapping my Juno for USDC, instead, maybe I want to send USDC to another wallet of mine. So here I could just go through. I could say that I want to send it to, I could paste an address here, or if I was so inclined, I could put Yieldmos and we use ICNS. So we know that address. Or if person you're trying to send it to is not on ICNS, you could also do something like a Stargaze names address.
Yeah.
So we're
Wow.
just trying
Yeah.
to
Cool.
increase the UX, make it really easy to use.
Mhm.
Right. So now my good friend Luis is going to get a little bit of a USDC gift every time this compounds, and you could set these up however you want.
That's really good, isn't
Yeah, so I would
it?
encourage people to go in and look to see what's in here, right? DAOs, like being able to swap and stake to a DAO that you love and care about. This is to me
Mm.
one of the most Juno options we could have added here.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I love
Yeah.
that feature. It's one of the big things for DAO as well. We say to everyone, you've got to name your wallet because, see, just searching for the name, it's so much easier than copying and pasting. So yeah, and yeah, this is a fresh feature. I must admit, this is like, so you can actually see a DAO that's contributing some good things, or a project that you love on DAO. You can just literally donate to them or stake to them straight to them, which is amazing. We're going to see big use
Yep.
cases on the DAOs, I think, on June.
So you could see here, you pick how long you want it to run, how frequently you want it to run, and some of the special sauce here, because I've been working on this for the better part of the last year. Some of that effort comes down to the like immense work that I've done to work to augment the Auth-Z module. If you're listening and you're at all familiar,
Mhm.
I don't know, is the Kepler pop-up visible? Regardless, I've done an incredible amount of work here to make it such that the way that we automate this stuff for you, you do not send us your tokens whatsoever. We come up with actually a custom set of Auth-Z grants that are dialed down to be incredibly fine grained. And so the Auth-Z grants that you give us for this strategy is going to look entirely different from the Auth-Z grants that somebody else uses to accomplish different things because they're interacting with different pools, different tokens, and we lock it down as much as possible. And over the coming months, we'll have more bandwidth to make them even more fine grained as we go along. So, like, I literally couldn't be more proud of some of that work we did. And it's like very cutting edge to be able to orchestrate this all.
Yeah, definitely. And it, anybody that wants to come in and use not only Juno, let's be honest, like any chain, do you really want to be at it every day, spending 1 hour of your day compounding stake and moving? What am I doing with my rewards today? It's
Yep.
best strategies just to pick a strategy like this, an automation strategy, make a decision and let it run for 3 months, and you'll probably outperform what you would do manually. No doubt about it, because manually you have that human factor of, oh, the price is going down today, I've got to sell, or I've got, you're doing something that you maybe shouldn't have been doing. But if you let it automate for 3 months, it's a far better strategy. So that is one of the features. Anything else interesting? I see a few things cropping up here, so feel free to just run through them.
Sure. I mean, we've updated kind of the little chain overview so you could still see what you've staked and then how you have your different strategies configured, right? Just to give you a nice overview. You could see kind of all the relevant data here. I think this has gotten more useful as
Hmm.
we've gone along. The other bit that I would point out is, right, we have these other strategies here, right? There's Juno DCA, which is very much the same, except you're just going to specify here. I could show it real quickly. You're just
Yeah,
going to specify
please.
every time this thing runs, how many Juno do you want to use, right? And you have those same great options. Um, and, you know, you can do that as frequently as you want for as long as you want.
Obviously, this is everything reward wise, right? Your stake tokens are not being affected,
Mhm.
right? Just to clarify that. But all the rewards going forward, this is what Yieldmos is channeling into effectively. So when how do you DC in?
Yeah.
Are you looking for a price target? How's it working exactly? I don't quite understand.
So yeah, this would just be so you can set it up to have that same like duration and frequency setting. So let's say you set it to run once a week. You want it to take, let's say, 10 Juno and run
Yeah.
these things through it. So convert a quarter of these 10 Juno to USDC every week, right? And so on and so forth. These strategies can all kind of work together in different ways depending on how creative you are, right? So this is just
Wicked.
one more tool to do the automation you might be interested in.
That's excellent. Really, really cool stuff, man. I'd be interested to see other strategies, cross-chain strategies. For example, if I wanted to, once like the liquidity on Kajira and stuff's not quite there for Juno, like there's no way I can send my Juno over to Kajira because it just won't be traded. There's no anybody at the other end trying to buy it off me. But that's going to change as the next cycle comes around with the next interested liquidity coming into the interchain. I would love the idea of using Yieldmos to then go, right, you know what, I want to take my Juno rewards and I want to send them over to Kajira and I want to set a limit order on there and do clever stuff cross chain. Is it something Yieldmos is looking to do in the future? I think because I've seen that as a vision for the interchain. And what I'm getting at with this is does Juno necessarily need a DEX if there's applications doing this kind of thing?
Yeah, so I think those are both excellent questions. So we are already working on augmenting this with more IBC based functionality. So I would expect that being able to, because right now we have minting LSD for all the local Juno options, but being able to mint ST Juno is something that will come sooner than later, right? Using Stride's blockchain, and
Yep.
just to in general be able to do arbitrary IBC token transfers is something that you should be able to automate from us relatively soon. And yeah, the Dex part is interesting because we tied ourselves both into using Windex, and White Whale has an instance of TerraSwap on Juno.
Yeah.
So we use both of those to some extent, and I think we are like, while we're experimenting with using osmosis as a dex on any chain using IBC, I'm also
Yeah.
interested to see. I know Reese has mentioned a little bit about potentially having Astrovault. There's a lot of reasons, technical reasons, why it's nice to use a dex locally, and why using
Yeah.
one over IBC is more arduous, especially for a project
Yeah.
like ours where you're doing so much potentially in one Cosmosm contract. I think
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
kind of like hanging tight to see where the liquidity settles.
So, what's your thoughts on like White Whale? Then there was a proposal that they didn't get passed, but is it something that could have helped, in terms of liquidity? But they seem to have some good stuff at White Whale, but the problem being liquidity.
I followed that quite a bit, and it's hard because I definitely I see both sides of things. I like the White Whale team a lot, um, and I understand kind of why Juno came to the decision that they did. Um,
Hmm.
I do like I think it's hard for the non-technical people to understand how beneficial it is to have all these DeFi primitives on chain. So I think giving up the opportunity to have, I think they were going to bring Ginkgo on, right, to do a borrow lend market, and uh, just have a
Yeah.
little bit more DeFi available. I
Yeah.
think it's a bit of a shame that we lost that chance, because so many of those things are just necessities in order to build like more user level, app level things that need DeFi. So
Yeah.
um
True.
yeah, that's
Very,
how I feel
very
about it.
true.
There was no right or wrong answer.
Yeah. Well, maybe in the future, man, they can come back and we might have a round two of a vote. Let's see. I just think also
Yeah.
at the timing of it wasn't the best, because I think personally we were right in doing like everything, just kind of put the brakes on and try and let the charter put the correct teams in place that can like scrutinize proposals properly, because we've got three departments now that are really strong. And I think going forward, if White Whale do come
Yeah.
back with another proposal to maybe relight the interest again, then now's the time. Juno's in a correct place now to make these decisions. Yeah, but you're totally right, man. You need these kind of fundamental building blocks, don't you? I mean, there's a project we're talking to at the moment. It's another kind of gambling site, which is really interesting. I'm actually interviewing them today as well. So there's people there wanting to use the cutting edge tech on Juno, and I do like the vision of the incubator for the interchain as well. And that's going back to my point about White
Mhm.
Whale. White Whale was one of those projects that wanted to launch on Juno first and make a decision what they were doing after. And we should be that one of the points that I want to make is we should be trying to back projects like that. Maybe it just was down to the timing, wasn't it the greatest, throwing more Juno tokens around and creating more potential sell pressure, albeit the proposal did state there wasn't going to be any Juno being sold.
If you're interested in learning more, so we do spaces every week. Today we're going to have a big announcement space to talk about way more in depth about what we've put out. But even if you missed the very big launch space, we do spaces every week on Wednesdays at 1900 UTC. And if you come by, I think the next 2 months, we're going to have on different teams that are featured in our outpost today. So I know the Raccoon team is coming on next week, the Spark IBC guys the week after that. So come learn a little bit more, hear about maybe some projects that you're less familiar with, and see how, it kind of works together with Yieldmos. And yeah, thank you for having me
Awesome.
on today, Highlander. I really appreciate your time.
No, you're more than welcome, Kaku. I really appreciate you. Obviously, you guys are a great team. Great update as well, and something I'm excited to use personally with my Juno rewards as well. Just set some strategies up. Like I say, like you mentioned, folks, if you want to tune into the space, we'll get this video released today. The Twitter space is going on. Why
Beautiful.
not? Yeah, so thank you for coming on, and thanks for the community for watching today. Been an awesome update from Yieldmos, and we look forward to future updates going forward. No doubt we will see you again soon. Thanks, everybody. We'll catch you for the next one.
Thank you.